Hi and welcome to another Pixelcave video. Inflection, the studio behind Nightingale, today answered a batch of new questions from the community. As we continue to cover this game, if you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below and we'll do our best to answer or to get them answered for the next Q&A update. So let's jump straight into it, starting with a question we asked. Will there be options for gear loadouts? Since a character's role and abilities are heavily dependent on gear in Nightingale, we thought it would be great to have the option to more quickly swap between multiple loadouts. Sadly, it was confirmed that there is nothing like that in the game currently. With that in mind, it's likely not something we'll see anytime soon, but hopefully, once we get some hands-on time, we'll figure out that such a feature might not be needed in this game. That said, it was hinted at that swapping might potentially be possible via different character profiles. While we don't know anything about character profiles yet, it sounds strange though and not like something that would usually be referenced in relation to character profiles. I guess we'll have to wait and see. On to some gameplay questions around playing with friends. Will there be scaling in difficulty for boss fights? The latest answer is that creatures will get harder as we progress through realms. And since the difficulty of a realm doesn't scale based on the number of players, another way of making the experience tougher or easier is by either going solo or with a group. However, what truly influences the difficulty of a realm are realm cards. Use different cards or combinations to increase or decrease difficulty. Can I group if my friends have different respite realms? Yes, you will be able to group up with friends no matter their respite realm. In addition to that, once invited to a party, you can travel to the realm of any party member. For example, if you are in your respite realm, any member of the group can come visit your home and so forth. Can we complete the storyline together? This one was a partly yes. In short, you can complete the same story steps as anyone else in your group, but everyone needs to go pick up quests, go through their own dialogue boxes and such. In other words, there are no mechanics that start nor complete a quest for everyone in the group, which is a common approach. Let's move on to questions around creatures and the game environment. Will wildlife react to changes in the environment? They confirmed that most creatures already respond to both day and night, and they are planning to expand on their behavior throughout early access. Will there be named bosses or named enemy types? There will be creatures within realms called apex creatures. These are creatures which will require preparation to take down, but then as well provide unique resources. By the answer, it sounds like there won't be any named bosses, which we found a bit surprising, and that we'll rather see a tougher version of select enemy types, like for instance an Apex Skyfaller. That's cool, but we would have expected to also meet named unique creatures and humanoids in select realms and in relation to story progression. Will there be fully customizable world settings? Will it be possible to make less balanced realms? There aren't any server or overall world settings to do this, but customization can be accomplished through realm cards. For example, you can make realms easier or harder, and doing so can impact the type of resources that you gather. This answer echoes that of similar questions around dedicated servers in the previous Q&A. There are no plans for private servers for early access, so with all servers being official, it makes sense that we, the players, won't have any admin level access to the realms. We'll have to wait and see what options, if any, will come through private servers later. Moving on to a building related question. Is there a structural integrity system like in Valheim? And if so, can we disable it when starting a new server? Based on the answer, we feel this question might have been misunderstood. They answered that there are some physics limitations building-wise. For instance, we can't build floating platforms. They also mentioned that there will be a building piece limit per player as well as per realm. Limits that will be set as high as performance allows and tweaked during early access. Finally, in relation to customization of realms, seeing there will only be official servers for early access, there won't be any options to adjust game settings beyond realm cards. Now on to server and client related questions. Will there be dedicated servers for Oceania? So, Inflection confirmed that they are currently using Google for Nightingale and that they will have servers everywhere Google services. Now, we have to presume that this is a reference to Google's cloud platform, and in that case, they do have 2 locations in, for instance, Australia. That said, this is a bit confusing, as usually a company would only host servers at select central locations around the world. So stating to offer servers at all Google Cloud Platform locations seems odd or extremely special. Will the minimum PC specs be updated before early access arrives? Yes, we will have them closer to launch after more optimization and testing. The current listed specs on Steam can comfortably play the game as it is now in its alpha stage. We can add to that it's been previously said that what's listed on Steam is on the high and safe side, and that they very much expect to lower those specs as they optimize the game. Will Nightingale be utilizing the services offered by GeForce Now? They said this is not something currently in the works, and if anything, it would be something they would investigate after early access launch. Will Nightingale be able to be played on Linux? The studio is currently focusing on Windows development for the early access launch, but they would love to know how many users are running Linux-only machines and are interested in Nightingale. So if you are a Linux person, I guess it's time to voice your opinion and let the developers know. Finally, a couple of miscellaneous questions. Like with the last Q&A, there are always some somewhat odd questions being asked, and in this case also answered. How tall is Puck? In the trailers, I can't quite tell if he's about human-sized or smaller. This was a fun question, and it's now confirmed that Puck is approximately 140 cm tall, without his shoes and mask. From the tip of the mask horns to the bottom of his shoe soles, it goes up to about 170 cm. Puck is one of the more prominent Fae in Nightingale who has appeared in several trailers. He's a guide who will be welcoming Realmwalkers when they start their journey. Will there be something like minigames in Nightingale, for example poker? They confirmed that there are no plans for minigames. However, if there's a community desire during early access, they would consider it, though it would have to be something original and befitting to the world. And this was the last question and answer in our summary. If you enjoy our content, please give it a like and feel free to share thoughts and questions in the comments. Note that Nightingale is listed as coming soon, with early access launch expected in the first half of this year. Feel free to subscribe to our channel for more Nightingale content.